When you're tired of being gassed, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, just to remind you when I'm going live. We only talking real shit. A lot going on in New York State. There's too much going on out here. You got a person that serves the law and sit at a place where their word is law. And at the end of the day, when you have a public servant that has a lot of scrutiny around their name, that can create a lot of chaos and friction and confusion. Now, just came across some news, right? That the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James, is facing a federal indictment, allegedly claiming that she has committed bank fraud, is harboring a fugitive. The fugitive is her grandniece. They say her name is Nakia Thompson. Now, I know Nakia. I know Nakia for quite some time. But what I didn't know is that she was allegedly on the run for some shit that happened in North Carolina. Letitia James is the New York State Attorney General that they're claiming committed so much fraud. And she's saying it's an act of revenge from President Trump. There is a woman that is the prime example of when the wrong person has the power. This woman done went after Governor Cuomo when she felt she was right. She went after Trump when she felt she was right. And now the tables have turned. Tables have turned to now she's under the microscope of the federal government. And you know when the feds investigate you, they not playing. My brother was killed back in June 5th of 2020. And I have all the proof that my brother was murdered in cold blood. Letitia James was the New York State Attorney General at the time. She didn't even look at the case. She just believed what the officer said, his lawyer said, whatever the police, PBA people said, whatever. She didn't even look at the case. My brother was murdered in cold blood. That woman didn't give a fuck. So now, karma has a way of paying people back. Because at the end of the day, now she faces legal matters and legal situations. And honestly, that woman gets exactly what she deserves. What's happening? I have conversations with this woman. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Real shit. Somebody with a position of power has been allegedly committing fraud the whole time. Did not pay attention to what was taking place in my city of New Rochelle. My brother was murdered, executed by a police officer. I can't say his name because it's a protection order that the police got against me, which is weird. And yeah. She's under federal, let's just say federal investigation. They say she obtained a house in Virginia and 2 other places under fraudulent. I did slide for my brother. What you talking about? It caught me 11 charges. That police officer is nowhere around. I got indicted. I went to court. They tried to put me in jail for exercising my First Amendment right. Gangster. So at the end of the day, this lady didn't looking at nothing. She didn't want to have nothing to do with the case of what happened to my brother, right? And now all her business is all up in the air. Nah, he's the police, bro. Police protect him. They got him away, bro. They got him far away from the situation, bro. If you really want to know. But don't get it twisted, man. They know about me. These people, they see me moving around. These people, they know how to act around me. But at the end of the day, the shit ain't over. I'm still fighting the case. Now with this shit, with the attorney general facing all this shit, who knows? We can get the case reopened. You never know. We might be able to get the shit reopened. So that's what I'm pushing for. Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Comments is everything, but I need you to hit that like button for me. So, yeah, for real, for real. I'm going to show you something real quick. Nah, you can say what you want to say. But you know how to do. What if I go out here sliding and looking for him, right? And he's the police. You know how the police move? Obviously, you've never been in that, right? You've never been through nothing like that. So you wouldn't even understand how that goes. I'm the most watched person, man. Them people had the feds run up on me, man, because that man was so scared, man. Look, hold on, man. I'm gonna show you something, man. The state AG will not investigate the New Rochelle shooting and killing of Kamal Flowers. Kamal Flowers was my brother. New York State Attorney General Letitia James will not investigate the death of Kamal Flowers, who was shot and killed by a New Rochelle police officer on Friday. Investigating Flowers' death falls outside the Attorney General's jurisdiction. She's a lie. Their spokeswoman lied because right after that, a young brother from my hood 3 years later, his name is Jarrell Garris. He was murdered by the police, and she looked into it. She held an investigation. So at the end of the day, how you going to say it's out of your jurisdiction? A police officer killed my brother just like he killed another one. You look at one case and then you don't look at the other, right? But God has his way of paying people like that back. Because now she's in a whole bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? She's in a whole bunch of shit. She has been, this is what happens. This New York State Attorney General, this is the charges against her. New York Attorney General Letitia James has been criminally indicted on federal bank fraud charges over a property she purchased in Virginia. President Donald Trump pushed his officials to legally pursue James among other political opponents of his. James denies any wrongdoing, calling the case a desperate weaponization of our justice system. A similar accusation was made against her by Trump and his allies when James won a civil fraud case against him in 2023. Here's what we know about the case against James. A recap, the one she said led against Trump. What's she been charged with? Bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution. James' 3-bedroom property in Norfolk, Virginia, where her niece is, the niece that's on the run. That's what they say she lives at because they got all of this. This is public information. Prosecutors allege she secured a mortgage claiming the property as a secondary residence while her primary residence was in Brooklyn, New York. Instead, she rented out the property to a family of 3, according to court documents. The prosecution alleges that James required to occupy and use the property as her secondary residence, not as a rental investment. Property in order to secure a favorable loan. Prosecutors allege she saved $18,933 through this misrepresentation, including a securing a lower interest rate. No one is above the law, U.S. Department of Justice Attorney Lindsay said. James has previously said she made an error while filling out paperwork for property, which was then corrected. She has called the charges baseless and has taken aim directly at Trump. She only changed them She only said she made an error because she got caught. She thought that she was going to be able to do all this shit while she pursue all these people. When you going after powerful people, they're going to dig up everything they know on you. She thought this was buried in the dirt. They said she would fight charges in every process allowed in the law. Yeah. This is a lady about her. She a black woman in a position of power. Don't you see what's happening? They going after the black people in positions of power, but if you dirty, even if you got a piece of dirt on you, they're gonna fucking zero in on that piece of dirt, and they're gonna blow that shit up into a microscopic big ass picture. And she thought she was flying under the radar. She thought she was flying under the radar, and that's just karma. That's bad energy that you get. When you put that bullshit out there, that's what you get. And a lot of people don't understand that what you're going through is the result of what you had already put out. You may have put that shit out years ago and thought you was in the clear, just like she thought. She thought she was in the clear until she started going after the wrong people. You're going after powerful people with money, and you have to prove everything that you're doing. You want a civil case against him because he didn't want to settle out of court. He didn't want to go through the court proceedings. So he's admitting guilt. So what? You win. Even if he doesn't admit guilt, you still can receive civil payment. So at the end of the day, what did you really do? But that man dug up so much dirt on her. It's looking kind of crazy. She might just be in a situation. She might just be in a real bad situation. And nobody could do nothing for her. She can't be saved in the matter or nothing. I don't feel bad for the woman. She deserves everything she get. When you do that, when you do wrong, then you got a lot of shit going on. Expecting to be in the clear, that shit ain't gonna help you. Let's get a little what's going on, man. I gotta know what's going on. We're gonna know what's going on here. How about this? We're going to get into this real quick, and we're going to show y'all exactly what this woman is going through. She's going through a lot right now. This is an actual fact. Actual facts coming up. We got actual proof and facts of what's happening, and this woman is doing too much and doing the most.
A small 3-bedroom home in Norfolk, Virginia continues to cause trouble for New York State Attorney General Letitia James. Last week, James was indicted by a federal grand jury in Virginia on charges of bank fraud and making false claims to a financial institution. Prosecutors allege the 66-year-old New York prosecutor.
That's by the New York Post, by the way. Just in case y'all got it all fucked up, it's by the New York Post.
Bought the 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom Norfolk, Virginia home in August 2020 for roughly $137,000, most of which was financed with a $109,600 loan that prohibited it from being used as a rental investment property. Her ill-gotten gains from the lower mortgage rate amounted to approximately $18,933 over the life of the loan, prosecutors allege. But now, in a shocking addition to the federal charges brought against James, new reporting also alleges that at least one of the Norfolk home's inhabitants is wanted by police, James's own grandniece, Nakia Thompson. According to court documents seen by the Daily Mail, Thompson is officially listed as an absconder who is wanted by authorities in Forsyth County, North Carolina, for failing to finish her probation. Keith Ackrey from the North Carolina Department of Corrections told the Mail that the 36-year-old was sentenced to probation for misdemeanor convictions for assault and battery and trespassing, and has willfully avoided probation supervision. Ackrey added that Thompson's crimes were considered low-level and thus non-extraditable. The under fire prosecutor's grandniece has reportedly been living with her 3 children in James's 3-bedroom property in Norfolk since 2020. James has called the charges baseless and political retribution from President Trump. In her first public appearance since the indictment, James joined a rally for NYC mayoral frontrunner.
Now watch the motherfucking antics she put on. Is this not a campaign pitch?
Zohran Mamdani. and called on rallygoers to stand together to defend our rights. Fire.
That sounded like one of them war cries. She just committed a. You seen that whole act? That was a whole act. Now I don't know. There's a 50% chance that she just might be guilty of what they fucking trying to charge her with. But I know for a fact that the niece that she showed, I know personally. I have conversations with this woman on Facebook, and ever since this shit came out, I can't find her niece on Facebook nowhere. So something's not right. The niece that I talked to is the one that they saying is absconded from North Carolina and some other shit, and they know that she lives out there at her home, allegedly. See, the feds know what they know. If they gonna come for you, they got all they motherfucking shit in a row. And see, this woman is trying to make a mockery of the system, and she got all these people, all these women stepping up because now y'all turning it into something else, and they gonna really fry her just for these antics that are going on, allegedly. And it's not healthy for her.
New York Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
You bringing New York reps out, they putting themselves on the line, they about to get buried. You don't know what's about to take place. And this is crazy. They said she was housing her fugitive niece. Now, you're the New York State Attorney General. You don't think they know who that is? You don't think that they know you can that they connected to you? This is crazy. And there's nothing that she could do about it. It's really bad now because for real, it's not looking good because you housing your niece on the run and the world knows about it. The feds know about it. It's on social media, so it's not no fucking mistake that they putting this shit up there on her. She's playing around with the president of the United States. A man who has so much motherfucking money that he can find dirt on the Kennedys if he wanted to. She's not looking good at all. My brother's murder. You involve my brother.
Watching today, go ahead and hit that like button, my peeps.
Involve my brother's murder and you supporting that. We're not doing that.
Keep bringing you these stories every day. Now, y'all.
She's in hot water. To be the New York State Attorney General, you went after a lot of people. And now it's a problem for you. What are you going to do, man? You got to go to court. Now you got to go sit up in that same courthouse and face the same prosecutors that you hired and you tried to make them follow your game plan. And some of them didn't want to follow your game plan because shit smelled fishy to you. Niggas, shit was fishy circling around you. And now the truth is starting to surface. You was a crook the whole time. That's why you were so bent on going after everybody. You put so much pressure and public notice on other people to distract people from digging up your background. And allegedly your background is really dirty. For a fact, I know what they saying about your grandniece. I don't know if she's on the run or whatever, but I know who your grandniece is. And it's unfortunate that she's getting drug into your little bullshit. But at the end of the day, that's what happens when you messing with people. You have to break your silence. You have to break your silence. She had to speak out. She had to. She looks really bad because what it is she's not even paying attention. She's reading a script. You're not speaking from the heart. You're reading the script. That's crazy, yo. I know this girl, yo. I know this girl, yo. I know her. I know her, yo. That's her niece, yo. That's crazy when you see somebody you know all up in the public eye now. It's really serious. I hope Nakia get through what she get through, but she's just a casualty of the war that her aunt had initiated. So now all her public business come out in the street. Now her kids might possibly get taken from her. Now it might just be a whole bunch of bullshit now. A lot of shit going on. Too much going on. And when you went digging too far, you dug a hole for yourself, buried yourself.
A grand jury in Virginia has indicted New York Attorney General Letitia James on bank fraud charges, following intense pressure from President Trump to have prosecutors bring that case. According to the indictment, James was charged with bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution. The charges were presented by acting U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Lindsay Halligan. You've heard her name a lot lately. It's because she also secured an indictment of former FBI Director James Comey just 2 weeks ago. Halligan was Trump's handpicked choice to replace the previous head of that office, who resigned after the president threatened to fire him for resisting pressure to charge both of these individuals, Comey and James. Yesterday, Halligan presented the evidence against James alone, after a senior supervisor in her office indicated to colleagues they didn't see probable cause to seek this indictment against the New York Attorney General in the first place. Meantime, James's legal team said the indictment amounted to political retaliation against the New York AG, who...
What you expect to happen? You playing with Donald Trump. Donald Trump requested to have your whole background dug up. Shit that she thought that wasn't going to be brought to the surface came to the surface. Whether it was pressure by the president or not, he had the feds do an investigation. He's the leader of the country. Y'all elected him. Y'all put him in office. So this is what's happening. And yeah, everybody's making it look like he's out for revenge. No. If everybody want to expose lives, and this is what happened. She tried to expose his life, Governor Cuomo's life, and everybody else's, former Governor Cuomo's life, and everybody else's who has a public stature or statue or a public figure in the political party. Now, what you thought that they was going to do? What cards did you think that Donald Trump was going to play? After you done went through all this public scrutiny and scrutinizing him, you thought he wasn't going to dig in your background? You thought he wasn't going to find out what he found out? The only reason why Nakia is not locked up right now is because North Carolina don't want to extradite. So Virginia is not going to go and execute a warrant for her grandniece because they know where she's at. They know she has a warrant, but North Carolina is saying, nah, it's too low of a crime for us to extradite anything. We're not going to extradite her. So even if y'all arrest her, y'all got to let her go regardless. But that wasn't nothing. That wasn't no strike at her grandniece. She was just a casualty of the war. And now a lot of shit is about to hit the fan. Now, will Letitia James, will she be fully indicted? Will she? They saying she's facing charges, so she must have got indicted on the shit. And when the feds are playing, they're not playing around. Anybody out there that has ever been involved, like on the defensive side, when the feds came and got you and picked you up, they could go far back as 10 years, 20 years on you. We don't know how much shit they were stacking up on this woman. We don't know what happened. Trump could have been digging up dirt on this woman when he was in office the first time. He wasn't going through no shit. Then when he started going through the shit and she pushed the envelope, she was standing out in the forefront and she made herself the face of the anti-Trump movement. I'm not saying that it's right or it's wrong. I'm not supporting nobody's side. But when you stick yourself out there and be the front runner in the face of an anti-movement, you become a target. And that's what she did. She became a target. And now all her business is about to hit the fan. And I hope she get prosecuted or vindicated of her shit. Either way it goes, I don't wish no bad on her. Now, it might give us an opportunity to reopen the case in my brother's situation. Right now, at this point in time, I'm going to get in contact with an attorney and see if we can get that case reopened, because if she's being indicted for fraud, then everything that she's ever been in cross with or came in cross with or interacted with is contaminated. She might have tried a lot of cases in the United States, and being that she's being indicted for fraud, if anybody that was locked up under her words, and she signed papers on anybody's paperwork, y'all might have an opportunity to get that stricken off of your record. You might, and if you're doing time in prison, you might be able to get that time back. I don't know if you got a loved one that's locked up right now and she helped put that person behind bars on a federal level, and her name's on paperwork, you might have an opportunity to get that time back. This lady just fucked up a whole lot of shit for the United States. The federal attorney. She's the United States. She's the New York State Attorney General. That means she's the Attorney General of the whole New York State and every city that falls under the New York State umbrella. She's popped. She's popped, and she's not getting out of this. The feds ain't playing. When the feds play around, we'll find out. Everybody stay tuned. I appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Stay tuned. Hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. I will be going live later on today. I just don't know when, because I'm a busy man. I own companies. Sponsored by Stack Chicken, my company. If you ain't stacking chicken, something's missing. But hit the notification bell. But in order to do that, you got to hit the subscribe button. And you hit the like button. Hit the dislike button. I don't give a fuck. Leave a comment, man. If you feel like the New York State Attorney General is guilty of what they trying to charge her with, or she might be in the clear, I'll check y'all later. Don't ask me for nothing. Stay sucker free and stack chicken.